Hey guys, and welcome back to this channel, MumBikerBoy. Yes, today here this video is all about a very well-known issue with the twin 650, whether it is the Interceptor or the GT 650. This is an issue where most of us do not know exactly why it is and what has to be done. The exact solution to it has not yet been covered up. So in this video, yes, I'm going to go ahead and talk about death wobble. That is basically the wobbling that happens between the speeds of 40 to 100, 120 as well at times. Now you might ask me, why do you have to leave your hands and why then the wobble would not happen? But in case I have been on some trips where I have actually gone ahead and left one hand is because I wanted to check the direction on the maps on the phone mount, and the handle was still wobbling, and trust me, this is between 40 to 60 and where I'm not doing that much speed as well. So it was a little risky and stuff. So I actually you would see it on the screen right now is basically what we're doing over here is we're doing a test of the wobble. I wanted to do a video to show the service center the wobbling that is happening with the accessories, and right now that you will see later on is also wobbling that is happening without the accessories. So we did it both. We did both the tests between 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, and this took 3 days. So this is my journey of 3 days of understanding what the problem is and how we're going to solve it. So stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the video where we have the solution for this wobbling. So let's go ahead and understand this death wobble closely. So that's the reason I'm playing these clips again in slow motion. You can see this is without the carbon racing windshield and the extra accessories that they asked me to remove, which I was very sure to them it is not because of the accessories that this wobbling is happening. So stay tuned for my journey beginning with day 1. So this was my first day, and yes, this is the mechanic. His name is Raju. He understands the twins very well. That's the reason I always give him to handle the bike. Now over here, what you can see him doing is he's actually checking the T-stem setting, that is of the cone set as well. So that's the T-stem that you can see over there. It is tightened with 4 Allen bolts. And that is exactly what he's trying to actually go ahead and loosen up. They were a little difficult, but eventually they came out very well. Now what we were doing over here is we were trying to make sure that it's not too tight, not too loose, and he also wanted to grease them. As you can see him right now doing it, he greased them completely and put the screws inside, the Allen key screws inside the bike. Now it was also time for us to go ahead and do the top section which holds the fork as well. So yes, he was trying to actually check if it's now proper or no. So this were the steps that we took initially, first to give it a try if it was too tight or no. And we said let's go ahead and do these steps. Raju said let's do these steps, and now it was time for us to go on our first test ride. Yes, the test ride, I also tried explaining to him that the bike, the second problem that the bike has at times is when you start a bike, many of you might also have faced this, is when you start the bike and the bike falls below 2000 RPM, the bike just cuts itself and kills the engine. So that is also one issue that happens at times. But what happens is after a few minutes, when you put off the key and start the bike, afterwards it again goes away. So you can see over here it is wobbling even after doing that T-stem setting. Yes, the bike was still wobbling, and even Raju went ahead and took a test ride. It's right here what you can see him doing. He's come back from the test ride and he agreed that the wobble is still there. Now it was for us to go ahead and check with the alignment fellow who actually does the wheel alignment for Ishna wheels. This guy was right here to make sure we understand what he's doing.
गाड़ी के खड्डे में डाले थे क्या?
खड्डे में मतलब ऐसा
राइट पे गए थे किधर?
राइड पे तो जाता हूँ मैं, खड्डे में ऐसा मतलब धाम करे खड्डे में नहीं घुसा है। लास्ट टाइम बहुत बड़ा खड्डे में घुसा, तभी आपने वो ये अलाइनमेंट किया था निकाल के वायर। So as most of you guys were saying, check the PSIs for the tires. Yes, the PSIs for both the tires, the rear and the front, were checked and there was no issues. Be very careful with what answers you give them, because yes, as you heard him ask me if I went into the pothole this time as well. Well, I had not gone into a pothole, and that was exactly what I gave him an answer to. So I'm taking the bike right now home. They think that the accessories are an issue, so I'm going to remove the windshield and the lights, LED lights on the fork, and give it to them and see what happens post that. So I'll keep you tuned. Stay tuned for this. So it was time to take the bike back to Rishi's garage, to actually get the windshield off, and of course the lights that you see on the fork as well. And to my surprise, let's see what happens. So it was the next day, it was Sunday, and the showroom is open. So now let's go and test the bike without the windshield and the LED lights. And you would see it's gone massive. So the wobbling was not less but massive, but due to the weight of the windshield and the LED fork lights on the fork, the wobbling was not that massive. So now it's time to go ahead and go to Ishna Motors. It was Sunday and I had to leave because they wanted to check the bike completely, so I had to leave the bike at the service station. Now what I usually do when I actually leave my bike at the service station, because of one incident that has happened to me previously, I leave a link on top of what had happened to me during my first service at Ishna Wheels here at Villepale, and they had it rectified, no doubt, but I always advise you to actually remove a full video or a picture of your bike, because there have been many complaints not only at this service station but at many service stations around India as well, wherein then when you get back to your bike, either the silencer is crashed or there is something or the other broken. So I always have the practice of actually removing the entire video of my bike before I leave it at any of the service stations. So when I got back on Monday, I seen them actually putting the forks inside back again, and you can see him tightening the Allen key to actually put the fork in place. I asked him as well, he checked the fork oil and stuff. Over here you can see he's actually tightening the T-stem cone setting Allen keys as well. We also tried putting another tire of another Interceptor and seeing if it's due to the tire that is wobbling, because most of you might have told me that it could be also the tire that is wobbling. So it was not the tire issue. We tried putting up the other tire and it was still the same. So now it was actually time to go ahead and do a test ride and see what happens. इसके नीचे नहीं दिखूँ, 40 के ऊपर बैलेंस आउट होता ही है। So finally my bike is done. Actually this guy Raju has actually done a fabulous job. So which I was getting a wobbling of 80% between 40 to 60. It's actually completely wiped off. I did at least 4 test rides and I don't feel it anymore. It is just minutely, I think it's 1920, I think it's the back tire. So he's told me, which has gone bald. So he's told me to actually take the bike, ride it out and see. It should not happen, but in case it happens then the tire has to be checked. We'll speak to Raju and see what exactly is done with the bike. Raju, आपने क्या क्या किया बाइक पे?
इसका ऑयलिंग गिरसिंग किया मैंने पेट्रोल में।
ओके, मतलब कौन सेट में पूरा आपने ग्रीसिंग ऑयलिंग सब कुछ कर दिया?
पेट्रोल निकाल के अच्छे से क्लीन करके फिर लगाया मैंने, ऑयलिंग ग्रीसिंग करके फिटिंग किया।
So he's removed the tappet roller and everything, and he's actually done the greasing for the major parts of the fork as well. He checked the fork oil as well. So the leveling is done, everything is done. So I should not have a problem again. So let's check it out. So it's now time to go ahead and check the bike if it's wobbling post the installation of all the aftermarket accessories back onto the bike, and you can see it's not wobbling. So now let me go ahead and summarize what exactly we did. It's basically the T-stem was actually checked all loosen or tighten. It was very tight, it was loosened a bit. We also greased and oiled the cone set. The tappet roller was cleaned and greased as well. So this is basically what was done. There was no fault with the tire, there was no fault with the air pressure, nothing of that sort. So it is just that it needed some greasing and oiling. Of course, the entire assembly of the cone set was dismantled and put back again after the greasing and oiling. So hey guys, I hope you understood what was the issue and how was the issue resolved. Yes, I showed you all the clips of initially how the wobbling was, then how it went, and now how it is. So we have gone ahead and installed all the accessories that were removed, the fog lights, the carbon racer windshield to the bike as well. And I'm really happy because now the wobbling is not there at all. Well, this is big thanks to Ishna Wheels in Villapale, especially Raju, the mechanic who worked on the bike, Soheb, Arun, Rupesh, their head as well, and Jesu for actually listening to me and making sure they were patiently listening and they understood my problem and I had it solved. So yes, this is MumBikerBoy saying thank you so much guys. If there's any questions about this wobbling issue, please leave it down in the comment box and I'll be happy to answer them. If you've not hit the subscribe button, do hit the subscribe button because I'm going to bring you such videos about the bike as well in case there's any issues, the plus points of the bike. And of course, if you are a travel person and you like me exploring places, that's exactly what I do on this channel as well. This is MumBikerBoy saying thank you and see you on a next vlog.